Nurse Joy. Ever wonder how there are so many Nurse Joys in the Pokemon games? We've all been told it's because they have a lot of sisters. But really, is it that possible to have that many genetically identical siblings? Well, you never know, but still. They didn't want to let anyone know the real reason. It's far too real and out of character if anyone knew her secret. But I found out. I saw, and I can tell you. It all starts when you walk into the Pokemon Center. You walk up to her and see her bright pink hair. You greet her, and she has the prettiest voice that wasn't actually pretty to begin with. You may or may not have a talk. She takes your Pokemon, turns around, heals them, and then gives them back to you. That's the usual routine. Most likely she'll be all nice and caring through the whole process. Give or take the personality she has, because supposedly each one is unique in personality. What you don't know is that she installed a tracking device in your Pokeballs, all 6 of them in case one falls off. Why? Well, when you entered the building, she knew you'd be perfect. She knew you had the characteristics for the job. Plus, you were still a new trainer. The less known, the better. Anyway, she keeps you tracked and alerts the other Nurse Joys you might encounter. That way, when you get to one of them, well, let's just say they can care for you. However, if one of the Nurse Joys sees a trainer they want and stays in the center to sleep overnight, their real fun begins. You are assigned to a room. Most likely a room near the back of the Pokemon Center.
Can I take your Pokemon to another room so they can be healed and rested?
She may ask. Say no. Just say no. It's their way to isolate you.
All of your belongings can go in this drawer, so you can lock it and keep your items safe while you sleep.
She says in her voice you know, but will soon not love. The Joys do this to keep you unarmed. Of course, you trust these kind nurses. So all the items you had go in the drawer, and she gives you the lock.
Good night. Please, enjoy your rest.
She tries to comfort you, but if you look closely, you may notice the fake face she has because almost always they're full of excitement before this procedure happens. Can you guess the real reason now? If yes, well done. If not, keep listening. It's about midnight. Usually when it's this dark and no living thing is up and about, except for a lovely and sadistic nurse, it all begins. The door to your room gently opens. There is no squeak or creaking noise, because she was smart enough to oil the door so no sound is made when it's opened. She comes in with a gurney. You know, those medical stretch things they use to carry injured people? Her face is not sweet anymore, but more devilish. She enjoys this ritual. She loves it. The rush, the adrenaline she gets, the red glow in her eyes. It's as if she's possessed by the devil himself. Although you're sound asleep, she doesn't take any chances, so she takes out a needle. No, it's not poison, silly. It's a liquid form of sleep powder in a very high dose. An ounce could keep you asleep for, say, 2 hours. The needle has 10 ounces. She needs all the time she can get for the procedure to be successful. So you're knocked out on a gurney, being pushed down the hall into a room that has been disguised as the nurse's only room. If you ever somehow manage to see what's inside, here's what you'd see. Severed limbs and appendages of different sizes in jars, only ones that didn't transform properly. There are also testicles. Yeah. She cuts them off. She drags the male bodies underneath the saw tool and slices them off. She doesn't mind the bleeding. Actually, she collects it through the drain and jars it. You know, for when she needs a drink. After all the Joys needed a constant supply of blood. Now the next part is her favorite. Joy takes out a knife and slices it down from the base of your neck to your groin. She does this very gently because she enjoys it. And if you were to wake up, then you can suffer slowly. At this point, Joy's hair is not neat. It's covered with blood. Her face has completely changed. Her pupils completely blood red, and her teeth have suddenly grown a bit, causing them to look like fangs. No, she's not a vampire. Well, she could be, but that's not the point. Joy then has a smile that's a mix of a clown and a demon, because she takes out a bottle of serum with a special DNA molecules in it. Joy DNA molecules to be exact. But before she does anything with it, Joy takes out all of your organs, except for a couple like your heart and brain. She stitches your open incision, but it's not a decent job. After all, it won't matter. The serum needs to be directly poured onto your brain for it to work. So naturally, Joy will take out a saw, a regular old saw, and slice your skull just enough for the brain to be showing. The serum is poured, and after a few minutes, your body is becoming more Joy-like. The heart and brain are revived with new organs. Joy organs grow in the empty cavity that is your body. All your cuts are healed, and it was as if you had perfect skin. The process is complete. You wake up the next day wanting to work at a Pokemon Center. Anywhere would do. But you also have a DNA molecule, forcing you to look out for minor trainers that could be the next Joy. Of course, with this comes the ability to do what has been done to you. The thing is, you think you were born identical to the other Nurse Joys. But why go through all that trouble for making people into Joys? Why not just clone? Well, I found out the original Nurse Joy would like to someday rule the world with an army of Joys that will do anything because it's in their DNA to follow the original, but cloning would attract too much attention. Plus the whole, I have a lot of sisters that are identical, seems to have been a good story. There you have it. Now you know. Wonder how I know this? Well, who's always with the Nurse Joy? Who's the one in the background helping her? It's me, Chansey. Though I was told to never speak of this information, even though I am a Pokemon. So, my advice to you is to come to the Pokemon Center at your own risk. You never know. The thing about the real Nurse Joy is, she likes to hunt around by herself. So when you're all alone sleeping or just relaxing, don't think you'll be safe. I hear she has a nice demonic face to stare at you with. Oh. Looks like she's chosen another victim. I think it's you. And that, my little puppies, was Nurse Joy. Final thoughts? For some light constructive criticism, I really do think that you need a little bit more punctuation. Like, not with just the period at the end of every sentence. Try commas here and there. Like, maybe try punctuations. Hang on. Let me set an example. I'm trying to find an example. Where's the example? I'm trying to find it. Computer, try to find it. Okay, Batman. I'm sorry. Just trying to find the example. Okay. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. I'm so focused on trying to find this example. Okay, here it is. The part where, oh jeez, I'm trying to find it again. I'm sorry. The part where it says, so you're knocked out on a gurney being pushed down the hall into a room that has been disguised as the nurses only room. Try putting a comma after gurney and before being, so it'll be easier for the person to read. Like this. So you're being knocked out. So you're knocked out on a gurney, being pushed down the hall into a room that's been disguised as the nurses only room. But that's just my opinion of it. You don't have to fix this if you don't want to. I understand. But as for the creepypasta itself, well, I mean, it's not bad. It wasn't a bad read, honestly. But looking back at it now, I did hear this on another creepypasta channel, but technically it's... Looking back on it now, it's meh. I'm just meh on it right now. I mean, look, I get it. You're trying to make it more scary that the nurse joys aren't who they say they are and everything, but here's where the cliches come in. Like, from what I see as cliches. I think the only cliche I see would have to be, the part where the nurse joy is demonic, being possessed by a demon. Now, it's not bad that you put it as demonic, but I'm kind of tired of seeing every last creepypasta saying, oh, this Pokemon is demonic. Oh, this person in the games is demonic. And yeah, I'm getting kind of tired of seeing that in Pokemon creepypastas, but that's just me and my weird preferences. And another cliche I see is drinking blood, blood red pupils, sharp fang looking teeth things. But other than that, there's nothing much wrong with it. Plus, I really like the idea of it being a mix of a clown and a demon, because when I read that sentence, I automatically thought, Pennywise. That's Pennywise right there. Pennywise from Stephen King's It. Now, I really like how people do this kind of thing. I think it does give off a tiny reference to Stephen King's It with Pennywise the Clown. But that's just me. And again, a Pokemon telling the story in the form of a text is pretty interesting in itself. But overall, it's not really that bad of a read. Of course, there are some cliches that I have problems with, but again, that's my opinion. You don't have to follow up to it or fix anything with it. I still think it's a good story either way. All in all, I would have to give it a 7 out of 10. Again, not a bad read, but it does have some cliches here and there. Other than that, it's pretty good. Anyways, I will see you spoopy little pups next time. And be careful when you go to the Pokemon Center. Nurse Joy might want to make you her own personal little nurse. Good night, my little puppies. Sweet dreams.